Hey Ceramics, today I'm going to show you how to do your steps to make your clay relief tile. Remember, you're going to have to show me sunken relief area, bas relief or low relief areas, and also high relief areas. So the best thing to do is to get all your clay rolled out in slabs and kind of like pre-cut everything like you're cutting cookie with like cookie cutters, but you're going to be tracing your design. So you're going to get all your parts made, and then after you get your parts made, then you're just going to score and slip and start layering and start carving. And once you have everything layered and stacked, then you can start doing all your detailed subtractive method, put the little grass in or the hair in or the scales in, where you can use your pencils or whatever else you have to use for tools. So remember, 3 different levels is what I want to see. Some of you might even have more. So I'm going to flip this, and I kind of like got some things ready ahead of time. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. You're going to take your original design, okay, and we are going to make a second template, more of a color book drawing, all right? Get that one done first. And then, using your mom's rolling pin, if she'll let you, go ahead and roll out your slabs. Get at least 2 to 3 slabs rolled out, okay? And make them about the thickness of your index finger. Once you have your slabs rolled out, take all of them, and I did too, take them, put your little paper template on top, and use your butter knife to cut around, okay? Now, when you're doing that, make sure you get to the closest of the edges, okay? You don't want to put your square right in the middle of your slab if you have a nice large slab. Try and get to the edges so you can save your extra scraps, because you're going to need these scraps for your bas relief and your high relief area. So you want to have all these scraps. So try to have as many scraps and as large scraps as you possibly can. That's why you want to go to the very edge, bottom right hand or bottom left hand corner to do this, all right? Now, once you have that done, then you are going to place it on, and then using your pencil, I'm going to trace around my design. Okay, I'm going to trace my design. All right, so just trace it so you see a little bit of an indentation as to where the outline is. You don't need to have all the details. I just want like a shadow outline, mainly where my sunken areas are going to be. And then I'm going to have that. So as you can see, I mean, I don't have all of this right here, but I do see where this general area is, and that's a good thing, all right? So once I have that area traced on, I am going to take my pencil, or I have a chopstick, and I can start removing some of my sunken relief areas. I'm going to do this part first because nothing's in the way. There's no clay or anything in the way. So I can really come in here and do some really nice deep lumps. And I'm going to go right on top of where my design, my rooster is going to be, because I'm going to be overlapping it anyways. All right. Now, see all these really rough edges right here? Remember what we said about using saran wrap? You can use a piece of saran wrap. Hold on. Let me get it. Use a piece of saran wrap on top of this when you're removing, and if you press down into this, you're not going to have all those clay nerds, okay? So that's one less thing you have to worry about, is cleaning up all of those edges, especially with your sunken relief areas. All right, so if you're able to get yourself a piece of saran wrap, or even a Walmart Food Lion bag, something like that is fine too, as long as you have a piece of plastic to go right here on top. So I now have my sunken area And I didn't have very many sunken areas. Now on my design, okay? Now, you can see I have my edges scored. I did that because remember I told you on Tuesday I like to have like a little border. Make sure you have your slip made. All right. And I have these little bitty strips right here that I'm gonna put on. And I've already got a lot of stuff made. Well, I shouldn't say made, semi-prepped. All right, I'm gonna put that in here. And I gotta get my butter knife to do my cutting. Again, this is, remember that video, Embrace the Shake? Well, we're embracing our tools that we don't have at school. We are improvising, and hey, you can still make art and not have expensive clay tools. You got things at home you can use. Check out your mom's gadget drawer in the kitchen and everything else. All right. So I got my edges cut. Put a little bit more slip right there so I can get this in here. And I'll smooth this out as well, but I'll do that after I get everything else on there. All right, so now I have my border. And again, border is optional. You do not have to have a border on your tile, all right? It's optional. Now, I'm gonna go with my second piece of slab that I have because this is my actual tile. So now I wanna start making my relief, my low relief, my bas reliefs, and everything else. So I have my second clay slab that I made, all right? And I am now going to start using my paper template and start tracing massive areas. So as you can see, I kind of like traced my my chicken already. And I want to cut him out, all right? I want to cut him out. Now, this is a little tricky. So I'm going to use maybe a carrot pillar. If you have one of these old-timey carrot pillars, it might be a little bit easier to cut with than your knife. I don't know if it is or not, but we're going to try it. It's got more of a curve. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do some of these curves. After I do my curves, I'll go in there and get some of my other areas because, you know, I went back and forth. And again, you can use your butter knife. All right, I think that's got all the parts. Let's see if I can lift this off. All right, like I said, this is like making cookies. All right. All right, so it's able to come in. So I want to come in here and maybe smooth off my edges just so they're not so rough looking. And I'll be able to shape it up here later. However, this is going to bother me if I don't get this shaped up. All right. So now I've got my basic silhouette of where my chicken, my rooster is going to be. So I'm going to come in here and have this big, massive area. And I can see my slight little outlines where they're at. All right, so I'm going to do myself some score lines. I'm going to flip this baby over. I'm going to put some score lines. I don't have to put a whole lot, but I do want some score lines. And then I'm going to come in here with my slip, give myself some slip all over. Okay? Now I'm going to place him on top. All right, so he's a little bit larger, but that's okay. I'll turn him, get him down in here. All right, so I've got my first area, right? I've got my sunken area and I got my bas relief area. So now I want to build up his head area. I want that to be higher. So I'm going to take my same template and I'm going to take a scrap of my clay. All right. And now I'm going to place this on here. I'm going to say I'm going to have to do it in parts, and that's fine. I can do it in parts if I don't have a piece large enough. Let's see. And if you don't, roll it out some more, right? So let me do that. Let me just take this and make it just a little bit larger. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to place my head on here, and I'm just going to trace. I think I'm going to fit it on like this. Again, you're just like trying to play. It's like playing Tetris. You got to get it all in there. How are you going to fit it in there? So I'm going to place it upside down, and I'm just going to trace this part of it. Okay. This part of his head. All right. So I've got that part, and then I'm going to cut that out. Again, let's see how this butter knife does compared to the carrot cutter. And it might be a little bit smoother. If you have a bobby pin, that's a really good one too to use. I think I like the curve on the curved areas. Again, we got to improvise, right, to get this baby going. All right, so there's my parts. I'm going to do my score, 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 score. Give myself some slip. And now I want to place this on here. All right, I'm going to have to position this on here. See how it's raised, that part of his head? All right. So I've got this part. All right. I think I'm going to make his comb up here, his little top part, higher up. All right. So with that, I might get a piece that's a little bit thicker, all right, than the one I just used. And I'm going to place that on there. Right up here. I'm going to trace it. And as you can see, it's just tracing. It's like making a cookie and then putting it in place like a puzzle. All right, so there it is. And I'm going to cut. Let me get this in the camera view. I'm going to cut. It out. Again, these are really rough. So take your time. Don't go all crazy. Think, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Nope. This is just getting the pieces on right now. This isn't getting it all detailed and beauty and making it beautiful. Okay. Right now we just got to get all of our different layers. There we go. So here's my other top part, and I got that. So I've got these different raised areas, okay? As you can see, you can tell by my shadows on my relief tile, you know, the different layers. Now I've got this part on this face right here. I don't want that to be super thick, so I'm gonna get myself a piece of clay and I'm gonna roll it out kind of thin, all right? I just want another layer, but I don't want it to be really, really fat and stick up. I just want it to be thin, but at the same time, I don't want to have it sunken. I don't want to have any carved areas. So I'm going to roll this out. All right. Kind of thin. All right, there we go. And now I'm going to place that part right here, this outline. I'm not worried about my eye yet. That's going to be another time. There we go. And I'm going to cut that out. All right. And again, I'm going to smooth that out for right now. Score, score, score. Score, score, score. Give me some slip. Give me some slip. All right, so now I've got that part going on. All right. Now, one last little piece I'm going to use for his eye, because his eye is going to have both raised areas and sunken in areas. So I'm going to just take this large circle around his eyes and cut that out and use that. All right. And just like before, score, 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 score. Little slip, we'll add on there. And let's put that baby on. All right. So now I've got some parts going on, all right? I need to have something over here as well because that's his tail. So I want to have some raised areas over there. So I'm going to take myself some clay, some of my scrap clay, because you should have, like I said, tons of scrap clay from cutting out around. And I'm going to just cut this piece out. And see what I did? I put it right there, smack dab in the middle. I should have went over here to the edge. All right, I'm gonna show you that. I'm not gonna do one of those do as I say. All right, I want you to do what I do. So try to make sure you are using your, if I got an edge, use my edge. That's one less thing I have to cut out when I'm doing this, all right? There we go. So see, that's one less edge I'm gonna have to cut. So, here we go. All right. Score, 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 score. Score, 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 score. And there we go. All right, I'm gonna put that in there. All right, so now I have all my different levels. I've got my sunken in relief, I've got my bas relief, I've got my high relief areas. Now I can go in here and start getting it smooth and carved and detailed, all right, because I got a lot of big old hairy nerds right here when it comes to clay crumbs and all that kind of stuff. So you are going to go in and you are going to start getting yourself all smoothed out and start making this look realistic, or if you're doing a realistic. Now, if you're doing something abstract, then of course, you know, everything's going to be a little different. You might have a few areas that might look a little rougher, but I don't want to see clay nerds, all right? I don't want to see those clay crumbs anywhere. So I'm going to put a piece of saran wrap on here to help me get my edges a little bit rounder, all right? And I'm just using my fingers to get it in here. And I can press. It's okay if you press and make some little lower areas, okay? But you're gonna have some gradual areas come in. Just softening up my edges, pressing down, okay? I keep my beak the way it was. I don't need to make that any larger. Smooth my eye. Now let's see what I got. Yeah, that's a little smoother. You can, I'm going to use my eraser here. Give me a little sunken area, right? Go in here and press it a little bit. If you have something else that's another size, maybe it's a little bit larger than the tip that you just used. Oh, let's see. I got this. Let's see. this little area right here. There we go. Make another little indentation there. I might have textured areas, of course. You know, you're going to have your bird or whatever. So I might have areas where I might have my wings. So I'm going to come in here and show those lines that represent my wing feathers. All right. You might even have some like little textured areas. Again, use that little saran wrap to help with preventing any of your little nerds and crumbs. Okay. So I'm going to start putting in some detail. Okay. And again, you can clean this up. I can give myself some feathers here. Going that way. Give myself some grass. I can texture this background area. Texture is important as well. You don't just want it all smooth. You want to see textured areas. I know I didn't say you had to have so many areas of texture, but think about it, okay? Think about those areas. It just gives it a different dimension when you have texture. All right. Now, this is not finished, all right? This is nowhere near finished. I'm still gonna, you know, you can still play with it and get everything smoothed out and everything leveled up. But I have all 3 levels of my relief. I have my sunken, my bas relief, my low areas, and then I have my high areas. And I want to see all 3 areas on your clay tile as well. All right? So that's what I want you to do. And take your time, prep. It's, as you can tell, I know this is longer than 15-minute video, but prep, get your slabs ready, get yourself another drawing ready so you can trace it, and get all your pieces made, and then just stack them on top, and then sculpt. All right? All right, have a good time with this one. This is our last slab. No, I shouldn't say that. We have one more slab project next week, but enjoy this one, all right? And turn it in on Monday next week on the 11th.